salutations to you again and again. Om peace, peace, peace. So we are in the Bhagavat reading, book number 3. We are there in chapter number 9, and we start from verse number 12. It was Brahma, the creator God, was commissioned to create, and then he was praising the Lord Narayana from whom he came. So he didn't understand first where the root of his being. So he looked all around and found only no beginning, no end, all ocean of waters around, and could not find the beginning and end of this creation, of this whole situation. And he tried to dive through the lotus, the stem of the lotus, and dive deep into the depth, but could not find an end or beginning of it. So then he started praising the Lord Narayana. The last verse we read, that was said, the rishis, O Brahma is praising the Creator God, the Lord of Lords, Narayana. That Lord, even rishis, learned in philosophies and sciences, are bound to go round and round in the cycle of births and deaths if they are indisposed to contemplate on your glories and your deeds. For toiling all through the day, they tire themselves only. At night, the agitation of the mind caused by innumerable desires disturb their sleep, and the failure of their worldly plans and ambitions due to the stroke of destiny engulfs them in disappointment. So even the rishis who are struggling to find out the cause of our very creation, where we come, they cannot fathom it because their mind is disturbed in this way. 11th verse, what we read last time, says, O Lord, discernible through the descriptions of your glory in the devotional scriptures, you abide in the hearts, lotus of the devotees, purified by loving devotion for you. That means you reside in the heart of all, in the lotus of the heart which is purified by the loving devotion. O you, whose glory is being sung everywhere, you do manifest for the blessing of your devotees in whatever form they contemplate on you. And you are the one God who appear before the devotees. And the devotees, as the devotees want to worship you, you appear before each one according to their desire. That's why people worship God in so many ways. So, according to the need of the devotee, God appears before them to satisfy their needs. That's why in Hinduism we see so many divine forms of Divine Mother, so many forms of aspect of the Shiva, Ganesha, these, that. So it is only to satisfy the need of the... Ramakrishna has also said that they prepare, mother prepare fish, the same fish, but according to the need, they prepare some fried fish, some soup, fish soup, some pilau, according to the ability. So mother feeds them. So similarly, God appears before the disciples, devotees, according to their yearning, according to the way they want to see God, to approach that God. So today we read from the verse 12. 12th verse says, you, who are the friend of all being and the indweller in everything, do never feel so highly pleased with complicated ritualistic worship, be it performed even by the gods, with a plethora of offerings. If the performer's mind is loaded with selfish desires, as you are pleased with universal benevolence, which unregenerate and unholy men without any devotion to you can never obtain. So Brahma says that you are the friend of all beings, though, and you reside in the heart of all, indwelling in everyone. Do never feel highly pleased with those people who only perform rituals and paraphernalia, ceremonies, but no devotion. Main thing, God loves devotion, not the outward rituals and worships. Even the gods may perform plethora of offerings. Performance mind may be loaded with a selfish desire. They don't have love for God, but praying to God for material prosperity, for immediate gain in this material life. This type of people, though they perform so much, but God is not pleased with them. God is pleased with them who have simple heart and unselfish and love for love's sake, they worship God. 13. Works of every kind, whether they be elaborate Vedic sacrifices, charitable gifts, mortifications, or observance of the spiritual discipline, all become meaningful and worthwhile if they are offered as the worship unto you. People do so many things. All become meaningless if it is not offered to God, if it is not for the purification of the heart. Say they may do Vedic sacrifices, home of fire, the charitable gifts, mortification, austerities, fasting, going to Himalayas, bare-bodied, smearing ashes in the body, can do all types of mortification and painful observances of spiritual disciplines. People do, I will do whole night meditation, this, that, all is good, but they are no meaning, it is meaningless and worthwhile if they are not offered as a worship of God. For only offerings made unto God, you never perish. That means the question is that with selfish motivation, people do same thing, going to heaven or do control over others, the power, tantra, mantra, all are there. They also do so much austerity. But with the selfish motivation, what I shall be powerful, I shall go into the heaven, I will be the ruler of this. All these things which material gain, people can do by spiritual practice also. But that is mundane, that is temporary. God is not pleased with that. That can give you material benefit, but not the spiritual benefit of peace and joy.
But you can have also that if I do, for example, our mind is so fickle, running away, running all the time. So if I sit for japa meditation, that to calm down mind, with that mind I will do some different work, studies or something like that. Not for spiritual benefit, but just to have the peaceful mind itself. Still it will not, it is a secular goal, it's not the spiritual goal, so it will be bad. The goal is like I want to devote it for my studies, for example, but to have the concentration.
We are talking about what is the best thing. Best thing is to give everything to God and expect nothing, accepting God's love. They are talking about that. What is for a person who is restless? Yes, he can sing some song, that mind may be peaceful. That does not mean that that is spiritual. Spirituality will be there when his personal cravings and desires for worldly things will be zero. It is for the pleasure of God. Say we are doing work. People do so many hard work. The work is work only. Exhaustion comes, anger comes, frustration comes. But if it is done for God, people can do so much. After doing so much, they feel so much joy. So this is the point. It is if it is unselfish work, that is loved by God. Meaning, that makes one spiritual. Otherwise, it is another type of worldliness. So you made unto you in the luminosity of whose essence there is no place for the infatuation of separateness, you whose intelligence consists in the total and undivided awareness, you who are the highest of all beings, you whose sport consists in creation, preservation and destruction of the universe, to you, the Lord of all, my salutation. So, Brahma is offering his salutation, that you are the only luminous object in the world, and you are the intelligence consisting in the total undivided awareness, that means awareness of God in every moment of life. I salute you. You who are the highest of all beings, you whose sport consists in creation. So it is all this, I salute you, O Lord, who is the cause of creation, maintenance and destruction. So my salutation goes to you. That means it is just praise and salutation to the Lord of Lord. By chanting whose holy names and remembering whose attributes and activities in his various incarnations, even if this is done in a state of distress and depression, dying men, purified of all their longing, acquired sins at once, purified of all their long acquired sins at once, attain to truth unveiled. In that birthless being, I take refuge. So what he says in the 15th verse, by chanting whose holy names and remembering whose attributes and the activities in his various incarnations, even if this is done in a state of distress and depression. That means thinking of God in whatever way, when people are in depression or in distress, and they can listen to the glory of God and their divine sport, say Krishna's life, say Christ's life, say Buddha's life, if they think of their glories and their actions and activities, even a dying person who is in their deathbed, his mind will be purified and he can attain to truth. That is the point. So to take refuge in God is the point. How to take it? In any point, any moment it is beneficial, even at the point of death. They have done so many sinful activities, but when they think, that's why that time they think about God and somebody talks about the glories of God and his mind moves in that realm, so he becomes free from bondage. So this type of refuge is expected. Thou who interpenetrating Prakriti, you, the Lord, who have this Prakriti is the nature. You created this nature and you have entered into it as consciousness. So thou, O Lord, you interpenetrating into Prakriti, your own Shakti, that's best in thee. So you have penetrated by your own power inside the universe of creation. And did manifest as three main streams, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So you have created in this way, you have penetrated into the Lord who creates this universe. It is you, your will, as creator, as Vishnu, the Lord who maintains and sustains this universe, and who destroys the Lord Shiva. So Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, these three aspects have been your power. As long as men are intent on unethical actions and are negligent in respect of your great teachings, that all works should be done as offering unto you, so long will you, as time, cut off their powerful and longing to live on by inflicting death on them without warning. To you, the winkless spirit of time, my salutation. He's saying, as long as people are engaged in unethical actions in the world, people who are wrongdoings in their life, negligent of offering adoration to God, and listening to the great teachings of the Lord, what they will do? Time will kill them. That means they are born, they will live this life and die, and cut up from the powerful longing to live on. That means they cannot live, they live a miserable life. And they face the death again and again and again. Even I am the Brahma, the creator God. I, though established in Satyaloka, in the highest plane. Hindus have these 7 planes, higher and higher and Christians have heaven, only one heaven. But Hindus have 7 heavens. Bhuloka, this earth. Next is Bhuva. Then Swaloka, Sarga, Purva, Sat. And then Mahaloka, Tapoloka, Mahajana Tapa, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. They are the ultimate, highest is the Satyaloka. So this Brahma, he does not reside in the material world, his level is in the highest level. So says, even I, Brahma, though established in that Satyaloka, which excels all other realms and has a duration extending over a vast period of time. That means in Satyaloka, if you are born, then you are eternal almost. How? Even in our what you call the forefathers plane, Hindus believe that there you die, your forefathers are there in another higher plane. So calculation of our date and their days, our 365 days will be there one day. They will feel one day and our whole year will go away like that. If you go to the higher and higher plane, there one day will be so many years, so many lifetimes of ours. So this is the way he says that I, even Brahma, though I am established in the highest plane Satyaloka, whose time period of existence is so big, marked by 2 parardha. Parardha is a measurement of time. Parardha. I am still afraid of you as time. You are God, you are the Lord, you are as time, controlling the whole universe. As time, the clicking of the time controls everyone. Everyone is becoming old, someone is becoming dying, in the deathbed, click, 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 body goes away in time. So everything is happening in time. So, O Lord, you remain in the world as a time, big time, not the small t, great time. I am afraid of you, Brahma says, as time. Therefore, engage myself in prolonged tapas. Says, I as Brahma, I also engage myself in austerities and practice to attain your fearless state. To that being, the bestower of the fruits of all jagnas, my salutation. So, I salute you, O Lord, you are the giver of all boons, and I salute you. Salutation to you, the supreme and transcendent being, who though devoid of all desires, do yet sport, manifesting yourself as incarnation. So you have no purpose, but you still incarnate as a human personality. God incarnates as Vishnu, as Buddha, Rama, Krishna. So you appear. You have no meaning, no purpose, like a child. So without purpose, but you incarnate yourself in various species, not only in human, as God, man, brute creation, out of your own free will. So it is you have created the whole universe, good, bad. It is your creation. God, angels, you have created. Man, and animal, everything has been your creation. I salute you. O you, the ancient being, O Lord of infinite mercy, may you, with eyes like lotus in the blossom, and a smile brimming with mercy and love, arise from your serpent bed for the good of the world and dispel our ignorance by thy sweet words of supreme wisdom. So Brahma is requesting, O Lord Mahavishnu, you are sleeping for a long time, wake up for the good of the world, for the benefit of all, come out. Now, listening all this beautiful praise from the Brahma, the Lord Narayana, he, or Mahavishnu, it is called Mahavishnu, he woke up. Maitreya, the sage, Maitreya now talking to Maitreya is responding, saying so, having realized him as the source by the power of tapas, worship and samadhi. Brahma understood this. How? He engaged himself, Brahma himself engaged in the austerity, meditation, worship and practice of samadhi, and having sung his praise to the limit of his capacity, Brahma now stopped, as if saddened by the thought of his own incapacity to recount the Lord's excellences. Though Brahma himself is praising the Lord, but he cannot express what God is. And he becomes sad. God is so merciful, so gracious. I wanted to describe him, I wanted to talk about his glory, but I cannot mention that. No, I cannot express that. That's why what is that verse? Shiva Mahimna Stotra. When there is a Puspadanta, he writes, Puspadanta writes that, Oh Lord Shiva, how can I describe your glory? You are so great. It is talking about Shiva. But Shiva comes from Mahavishnu. Then who will describe Mahavishnu? So these are all expressions. Then he said, what if the Mother Saraswati, who is the source of knowledge and wisdom, who gives us wisdom, if she starts writing the glory of God and takes the pen herself and goes on writing, not on these papers, but on his paper is the whole earth. Imagine, the whole earth. And that is the paper. And she writes on the glory of Shiva. Tadapi tava mahimanam. Then your mahima, your glory. I cannot describe. Oh Lord, Isha, oh Isha, mahimanam parang. I cannot cross, I cannot complete writing your glory. So similarly the same thing, the Lord who found Brahma lacking in confidence, he got really described to his utmost to describe the glory of the Lord Vishnu, but could not do that. He felt despondent. And then the Lord Narayana was pleased, and he started saying, found Brahma lacking confidence to undertake the work of creation, and thoroughly confounded by the condition of utter chaos prevailing, said to him in a deep and sonorous voice. So Lord Narayana then started saying in a very sweet way to Brahma words that were calculated to remove his depressed state of mind. That means to boost Brahma. Brahma is to create. He appointed Brahma that you do the creation part. But he, seeing the glory of God, he said, I am insignificant. How can I describe anything? So, to give him inspiration, then the Mahavishnu, the Lord said. What the Lord said? O embodiment of Veda, O Brahma, you are the embodiment of Vedas. Do not get depressed and despondent. Begin the work of creation, because he wants that this world is to be created. Begin the work of creation. What you are now seeking of me has already been granted to you earlier. Practice concentration and communion with me again, and you will then find the world within in their ideal form with all obstructions removed. So Brahma saw it is all chaos everywhere. What the creation? To control everything, everywhere. To hold on to one regular systematic way is difficult. So at the very creation, everyone is going in his own direction, probably. So he was frustrated. And he thought, it is not my power, I cannot create anymore. But Mahavishnu, the Lord Narayana, became pleased and said, don't worry, that you are the embodiment of Vedas. Don't get depressed or despondent. Start your work of creation. Only you are now seeking of me has already been granted. You are seeking power, you are seeking the strength. So I have already empowered you. Practice concentration and communion with me again. That is the question in our life, spiritual life also. When you try to do work by your own strength, then there is failure. But when you connect yourself with God and you think that you are serving God, God's work, then that becomes successful. See, mostly we do work through our ego. But when our ego is surrendered to God, and through that ego you work, then God's glory manifests through your work. So that is said. Brahma said, Narayana said, practice concentration. That means practice meditation. And commune with me again. Try to connect with me and get tuned with me. And you will then find the world within in their ideal form. You will feel that everything is correct. In this world there is no discontent, disharmony. All obstructions will be removed. If Brahma gets so much trouble to create, no? And Brahma is being advised that you think of me, then your work will be perfect. So it is a great lesson for all of us. Whatever we do, unless we think that it is God's work, and surrender and connect with them, as here has been said, all work will be failure. And also work becomes a load. There is a song, "O Lord, whatever load you have put upon my head, everything has become easy." When it is your work. When I put my ego and I am trying to carry the load, so it is a failure. Sakuri, it has become a load upon me. So, in our life, this is very important lesson. When your mind has thus got concentrated and filled with devotion, you will then see me capital, as interpenetrating the universe and yourself, and you will also see all the worlds and all the jivas resting in me. When you can concentrate upon me, when you become prayerful and connect with me, what will happen? You will then see. It is also for us that God is interpenetrating into this whole universe. It is all God everywhere. So it is God serving God. So that idea will come. And yourself, you will see that you are also interpenetrated by my presence, meaning God's presence. And you will also see all the world and all the jivas resting in me. There is nothing but God. If you do that, concentrate and focus on me, then you will find that I am the only reality. You is also gone. The object you see, it is gone. The whole universe and the activity, all is God's play going on. So you are nobody. You don't need to do anything. It is God's will working. Only you are to experience this. When aspirants see me as capital, as residing in all beings, as the one fire in all pieces of wood, then only they overcome delusion. So this world of delusion, which we are in, and which is creating all our mental tension, anxieties, worries, etc., this will all can be overcome. By what? By thinking of the presence of God everywhere. Like the fire in all pieces of wood, so similarly the fire of the consciousness is everywhere permeated in you, in here, and in the whole universe is run by that consciousness. What is the force behind every movement? That is the prana. Pranasya prana. That is the prana, essence of the prana is Brahman, is Atman. So that is the foundation for whole creation. So it is all play of divine going on. You will understand that. 184. Page 184. When the Atman, 33 verse, when the Atman rid of his association with the material elements, senses and the mind and the gunas of Prakriti, realize his pristine nature as inherently related to me, then he attains to the original state. So when the Atman, capital, which is free from association of the material elements, that means which when can disassociate with the body, mind, senses, and all its qualities of the guna, and then you can discard them, then the pure Prakriti, free from all dross, will be realized as pristine nature. That means when you can disidentify with the senses, eyes, Vedanta, I am not the body, not the mind, not the senses, when you can do that, then you will see that you are established in your pristine purity, in your pristine state of perfection. You will never be affected by any kind of impurity or infatuation while you are engaged in the creation of countless creatures according to the tendencies deposited in them by their work. Everyone is born according to their tendency. You will see a machine will be set. Creation will go on and you will enjoy seeing the glory of the Lord. You need not have to do anything. That's why our Swamis also, Mahapurush Maharaj and others told, no? Whom? When Swami Prabhupada was coming here, he said, Maharaj, you are sending us, what shall I say? What shall I do in a land I do not know anybody there? Then he said, no, you need not have to think. Lord will work through you, if you only can surrender. Here is the same thing. You will never be affected by any kind of impurity or infatuation by any kind of impurity in the creation of countless creatures according to the tendencies deposited in. Because they will be working by their own nature. Sattvika nature, Rajasika nature, Tamasika nature. And it is by the cosmic consciousness at the background, this creation movement will move on. You only be a part of it. Nimitta matrang bhava sabbhasachin. In the Bhagavad Gita also it is said, Sri Krishna suggested that you only be nimitta, just an instrument. Maiva etan nihitan purvam etat. I have killed all these warriors and all these evil people. I have already killed them. You only just stay on doing your duty. See, and it is, my work is done, you will get the glory. Arjuna has killed these big warriors, but who are of the bad, evil tendency, So, glory, you will get the glory of it, only if you can humble and put your ego under God's ego. Whoever daily worship me, reciting this high hymn, I, the bestower of all desirable things, shall soon become propitious to him. All who are votaries of this supreme truth know that whatever men achieve through charitable work, austerities, jagnas, gift, yoga or samadhi, all that is achieved only through my grace. So Narayana says, all the glories of life can be achieved by my grace. People do austerity, people can do jagnas, Vedic jagnas, charitable activity, giving gift and other things, austerities, etc., and practicing samadhi, all can be achieved only through my grace. That means it's a bhakti book mainly. So it's saying, you surrender to God and pray to God, and by my grace you will get everything. You need not have to do so much austerity, so much sadhana other than this. O Brahma, I am the soul of the souls of all. As such, I should be the dearest of the dear for all. Therefore, one should feel delight in me in place of wasting it on the body and things connected with it. So it is the advice that to see, O Brahma, how to live the life. Instead of living the thought, in your thought, mundane things, one should feel delight in me. That means think of me, relax in me, talk about me, listen about me. In this way, your mind will be always in joy and will be free from all distress. You are the embodiment of the Vedas, and you are born of me. He's talking to Brahma. Oh, Brahma, you are created by me. You have the whole knowledge of the Vedas. Vedas will come out of your mouth. So, you are the prime creation, but it is you came born out of me. So you are one with me. You are my power. Without the aid of anything extraneous, you proceed as in previous cycles to create all being that have been come latent in me. So you now recreate the whole universe again. Hindu idea of creation is that it is not one-time creation. It is a cyclic creation. Like every day we go to sleep. Today is all experience. When you go to sleep, we forget everything. And then when you wake up, again you start where you ended. So similarly, the creation is involution and evolution, involution and evolution. It continually goes on. That's the Hindu idea of the creation theory. It is not one-time creation, and not that one day it will die. One day it's created in this way, created when you wake up, the creation starts, no? And whole day you are awake, work is going on. When you go to sleep, this whole universe disappears from you. That is the destruction of the universe. And then you wake up, again this universe you see. But if you really love God, then by God's grace, you are not to come back and forth, you remain in absolute consciousness of the Lord. Now Maitreya said again, the Lord Padmanabha, that means the Narayana, who is the master of Pradhana and Purusha, that means the material nature and the spirit nature. Having clarified the way of creation to Brahma, disappeared from his vision. So this is the way how the creation has been described by Brahma tried to understand, but ultimately Narayana, the Lord, described everything. So we end here the 9th chapter, and we'll start reading the 10th chapter.
There are questions, many questions are coming.
These, let me read a little bit, then we can think about it. Vidura, now the Vidur says, what Vidur says? What did Brahma, the progenitor of the worlds, do after the Lord disappeared from his vision? How many types of beings did he bring forth from his body and mind? Now, Narayana, the Lord, asked Brahma that you start creation. Now, Brahma was puzzled because all disoriented things. He could not create anything stable. Then we read just now, Narayana came back and said, it is my power. Focus on me and then start creating. Everything will be all right. Then Brahma felt that Narayana has entered into him, into the creation and into everywhere. So it is all run by Lord Narayana. He is not nothing to do much. He then came into peace. Now, this disappearance of Narayana, then he said, Vidura says, what happened then? The Brahma, what did Brahma do after the Lord disappeared from his vision? How many types of being did he bring forth? This world is so many varieties. So, how many varieties of material objects, life forces, he, God, created, and Brahma, the Lord, created. And he created from his body and mind. For removing my doubts, answer all my questions, one after another. Now Suta said, the Maitreya, the sage Maitreya, was highly pleased on being thus questioned by Vidura. He began to answer all these questions, of which he had already clear understanding in his mind. Maitreya then started saying, as instructed by Mahavishnu, the self-existent one, endowed with all divine majesties, Brahma concentrated his mind on the Supreme Being himself for 100 divine years. Now, putting this question, say Mahavishnu, the Lord Vishnu, the self-existent one, without all divine majesties, then Brahma then tried to meditate and concentrate his mind on the Supreme Being himself, and this meditation for not 1 day, 2 days, but he said for 100 divine years. That's a very long time. 100 divine years, we call human year. Our year is called human year, 365 days, no? And divine year will be how many times multiply, no? So it's a longer time. Brahma, the lotus-born, found that his seat, the lotus, and the waters on which it appeared were being violently agitated by the wind that characterized the time of chaos. He suddenly felt there is a huge, Brahma felt that there is a huge chaos. The ocean is turbulent now. He therefore consumed that wind and water. The Brahma then took control over the wind and the water, being endowed with the great spiritual strength. Where he got the spiritual strength? Due to his concentration and loving communion with the divine. As Brahma concentrated and for a long time meditated on the divine self, from there he got the power, and the violent swelling of the ocean and the wind blowing, storm, he consumed them by the spiritual power of Brahma. Brahma now saw his lotus seat as filling the whole sky and recognized that he could create out of the lotus itself all the worlds. So he thought, Brahma now saw on the lotus on which he was sitting, that he can create the whole universe out of that lotus, as they are lying in latency in it. Then Brahma, verse number 8 on page 186, Brahma, who had been commanded to work for the Lord, now penetrated into the lotus bud, divided it first into 3, though it was capable of being divided into 14 and more. So he said that when Brahma, who was commanded to work for the Lord, Narayana, now penetrated into the lotus bud and divided it first into 3 segments, though it was capable of being divided into 14 and more. Anyhow, it was divided into 3 because this constitute the spheres into which jivas transmigrate for the enjoyment of the fruits of their action. So, while the still more exalted regions like Satyaloka, the sphere of Brahma, Maharloka, are attained only by devotion and dedicated action by those eligible for Krama Mukti, gradual salvation. So he created the 3 worlds, earth, heaven and hell. three worlds first he created. And then final creation will be there, and that will be only achieved by devotion. Otherwise, those who have not devotion for God, they will move around this earth, they will born here, they will go to heaven for some time and finish their fun and joy, then come back to earth again, do some bad karma, go to hell, and again come back to earth. Earth is a middle place. They come back here again to do karma. That and and then those who have devotion for God, they will be raising into higher and higher plane, exalted planes, regions. And that's called Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satta, those lokas. Maha loka are attained only by devotion dedicated to action. Krama Mukti. Do you get all these things? It's a little complicated, okay. Vedanta is very simple. Here it is so many lokas, planes and this.
There are many questions.
There are
Many questions.
I am muskil. Okay, so we end here. But I am not expert in this Puranic studies, that's why all these critical questions will be difficult.
Most questions are unrelated to this.
Oh, then it's okay. So we end here our reading of the Bhagavat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Now, Nishan is question. Master tells us to go into solitude often. If one has a whole week in solitude, how should they spend their time? Alternating between meditation and reading and gospel all day? This is, if you get a time whole day, then how will you spend the day? That's the question, no? Yeah, it will depend on your nature. If you want to think of God, Vedanta teaches us God can be in the form, God can be in formless, God can be thought as in between. The three idea, which mood you are, you go to solitude means there is your mind. So you think what is your mood. Hanumanji says, when I remain in the body identity mood, I am the body. So I say, oh Lord, please help me, I am trying meditation, I am trying prayer, nothing happening, please give me strength, give me power, I am failure, so your strength, your power, pray, dasosmi, I am your das. And when my mind moves, Hanumanji says, Jiva Buddha, I am the individual soul. And then I think, you are the cosmic soul. I am like a drop of water, you are like the ocean. I belong to you. Think in that thought, that mood. And when I, in a higher mood, the Atma Buddhi, I am that Atman, then I feel no difference between you and me. So, according to our mood, we should keep the mind engaged when we are in solitude. But as for ordinary person like us, sometimes it is good to sing song, chant some mantras, pray sometimes, read some inspirational book, meditate, both in the form or in the formless. The Vedanta gives us this clear understanding. Whatever you are doing, you are thinking of God, either in the form or in the formless, or chanting or praying, or whatever spiritual reading you are doing, or all should digress towards connecting with God. Second question, if one constantly dwells on Master and his Leela, is that person in Ramakrishna Loka even while embodied? I think good. Yeah, he is. If one constantly thinks, actually Ramakrishna also said, where do we live? We live where is our mind. That story of Ramakrishna, the two friends, they are friends, and when they met together, where are you going? I am going to listen to the Bhagavat, this book which you are reading. And another friend, he said, where are you going? I am going to prostitute. Huh? But anyhow, both went to their respective places. And the Bhagavat, that man who was in the Bhagavat, that friend, listening to the Bhagavat, huh? But his mind is thinking, oh, see, I am a fool. I am listening to Krishna, Narayana, Brahma, and this and that. My friend has a good fun. And the good friend, the other fun, having fun, that guy in the prostitute's quarter, he is thinking, what a wretched person am I? My friend is listening about God and the divine and the pure thoughts, and I am keeping myself engaged in this low life. And he was repenting about that. And then Ramakrishna said, after the death, this person who was in the prostitute quarter, he went to heaven because he thought of God being in that position. And this person being in presence of Bhagavat, he was thinking of that, he went to hell. So actually where our mind is, we are there. So not the body is not the important, body may be somewhere. Of course, in better environment we get, body is also there and holy atmosphere is there, that's the best. But body may be somewhere, but your mind is where you are there. So that's why if we can remember, say Ramakrishna's divine play, you open a chapter of Gospel of Ramakrishna and read that and keep your mind. So you are not here in Hollywood, you are in Dakshineshwar. If you think, just read that page, oh Dakshineshwar, that this is the door, the eastern door, and now Sri Ramakrishna is coming from the Mother Kali worshipping and intoxicated like that, and he is entering into his room, sat in the bed, and there are some devotees there waiting, they sat in the floor. Just imagine this. You are in there, you are in with Ramakrishna, in Dakshineshwar, real Dakshineshwar. But mind, wherever mind is kept, actually we live there. So that is the idea, true. Or Ramakrishna Loka is a Videha state only. Yes, after death also, if they want to live in, that's why we call Ramakrishna Loka. After death also, those who are habituated in this type of thinking, if they wish, after death they live in a plane where they will be always living in association with Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Shivananda, and the devotees, and singing and dancing and chanting like Ramakrishna, going to ecstasy. Yeah, that is called Ramakrishna Loka. So, as you think, so you become. So, that is true. What is Tapoloka, Sattaloka? I do not know, but Tapoloka, Sattaloka is you do austerity and you get a good merit and you stay in a plane, it's a much higher plane of peace and joy. Sattaloka, as I read today, Sattaloka is a loka plane of Brahma. Okay, another question comes. Why have there been no female avatar as the dominant incarnation of God and not just the partner of concert as in Sri Sarada, Radha, Sita, etc.? Maybe in the future during less patriarchal yugas there will be female incarnations. You are right. But this time, Holy Mother is a female avatar. You have to understand that. And true, in other incarnations, the mother part, Shakti, has been kept abeyance. That's why Ramakrishna also said, then in other incarnation, the avatars were the major role, where the Shaktis were supporting them. Radha, there is called the Vishnu Priya, the Jasudhara. These are all powers, Mother Shakti, supporting the incarnation. But in this incarnation, it is equal role, rather more. After Ramakrishna's passing away, what Holy Mother did and is still doing, that is the avatar's work she is doing. So we cannot say that it is not, but they are doing in this age, in Ramakrishna's time, Holy Mother took another form of incarnation. And Ramakrishna said, what have I done? you will have to do much more. And actually Mother did that in the physical level. How many people were redeemed from their sufferings and birth and death, by looking, by touch. So incarnation is really changed. That's why it is called new age. Another question is here, how does the Ishta Devata get established in one's heart? When you get the mantra initiation, Guru establishes the Ishta in your heart. Is this the form of the divine that melts one's heart as Mother, or is this the form of divine that one idolizes God as Thakur Ramakrishna? Whatever form of God we think our Guru chooses for us, we call our Ishta Devata. Ultimately, you meditate on that, and a point comes, by God's grace, that form melts into the infinite absolute. But we start, as Guru suggested, we think of that divine as a particular form, and that form is my chosen ideal, and thinking of that, mind becomes pure, and when mind becomes pure, mind melts into the infinite, Satchidananda. So it is Ramakrishna, it is Holy Mother, it is Mother Kali, it is Christ, it is Buddha, it is whatever may be the chosen ideal. Constantly thinking and meditating upon that, one minds become pure, and that pure mind melts into the infinite. That means they get the same knowledge of the self. Another question, why does it feel much easier to pray with object like the rosary, giving offerings, etc., than just praying within the mind regardless of what is going on externally? Why does it feel much easier to pray with objects like the rosary? My question will be, if you feel like that with your rosary, you are more connected with God by repeating the mantra in the rosary. Take that, because we live in the duality, so some concrete thing helps us sometimes. That's why rosary may be helpful for somebody, but maybe someone may be doing in the finger counting, they can find that. Giving offering, etc., then just praying within the simple praying versus with some chanting or some repetition of the mantra. My point is that whatever helps us to concentrate on God, take that path. Our goal is to tune ourselves with the divine. Whatever is the easy way, please take that. Why means, as I said, why means because we live in the level of duality and material object, so something concrete, when it is there, we feel more comfortable there. Absolute praying to somebody, close your eyes, I don't see anything, I am praying. Yes, it has its efficacy, but if you can visualize there's somebody listening to you, she's sitting in your heart, God is sitting in your heart, and you are listening, and you can feel that his eyes are blinking. You can imagine like that, it will be more intense. So that is the purpose probably. Okay? Okay. Whenever God incarnates as human being, he, despite being the Lord of the universe, portrays as character for himself, which is full of austerity, self-discipline, and unmasked humbleness. If that is the standard set by the Lord, then why ourselves, being a pygmy in front of him, dare to believe that we can attain spiritual success just like that without exemplary life? When God incarnates, that is the purpose of incarnation. Why God comes down? He is the Lord of the universe. He can change, say, 7-8 billion people. In this moment, he can change the mind of everyone. And everyone can be holy. Everyone may be kind and compassionate. But why not? It is his play. As we go in the drama, we enact some drama. So someone takes a wrong villain role, someone takes a holy role. So it is all other, there is no drama. It is God's drama going on. So as a human being, when he comes, what he does, when he comes, that becomes an opportunity. Because people see an extraordinary life. How we can transcend our present state and get merged into God consciousness, that is being taught by their life. That's why they do practice austerity. They practice humility. They practice all type of endurance. Why? To teach us that you want to get peace, you follow my path. Mere theoretical knowledge will not do. We need some illustration. And illustration, the ideal teacher, if we find an ideal teacher, we can learn more from them. Mere someone talking versus mere someone practicing in life, we can get inspiration from that person who is practicing. So I think that is the purpose when God comes as a human being, to set an example before us, so that in thousands and thousands of years, people will follow that trend and get liberated, get peace in life.
Example is better than precept.
Eh?
Example is better than precept.
Better than precept. Look at that. When Christ came, 2000 years passed. Just his life, his movement, his preaching, whatever he did, millions of people through centuries, 2000 years, they have enriched their spiritual life, following him and making him as the target goal of life, taking the illustration of his life, enduring model of that. And then went and they become all liberated. They become saints. So to make us saints, God himself comes down to set an example, and we have to follow their ways of thinking, walking, living. Suppose if you think of Ramakrishna, then you see that he lived in the world. How to live in the world? He teaches, think of God, dedicate yourself to God, and constantly thinking and dedicating, you become free from all bondage. So that is the purpose of incarnation, to come, to give us some model and pole. They are the pole stars of our life, And people, as time goes on, people in posterity, even following that path, they also can get out of the troubles of life, problems of life. So we'll see you in our next class at 7:30, what is called Shanti Gita, at 7:30. So we end here. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.